Oops. Great. All right. Welcome everybody to our August 30th special meeting of the Caroline Town Board. And before we get started, I'll call for a pledge to the flag, which is behind me. So I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. There are a couple of people here tonight, so I will offer opportunity, privilege of the floor if anybody wants to speak to the town board. You raise your blue Zoom hand or whatever. Are you able to see that, Jesse? On yours? Okay. Nobody? Okay. All right, with that, I'll move on to our short agenda. And the first thing on, I will offer a resolution to modify the Caroline Town Board policy for in-person meeting attendance to require proof of vaccination for COVID-19. Whereas the Caroline Town Board wishes to maximize the safety of anyone attending public meetings, therefore be it resolved, the Caroline Town Board hereby stipulates that in addition to masking and distancing, anyone attending a public meeting of the Caroline Town Board or other town meetings must be vaccinated and provide proof of vaccination.
I'll second that.
Okay, seconded by John, and I'll open it for discussion or modification. And this is in the context of the governor in late June, lifting the executive order that allowed us to meet, allowed town board members to meet remotely without inviting the public to their place of attendance. And and then since then, both the New York State and the CDC sort of relaxed things. And as everybody knows, that right now everything is going the other direction. We are on heightened COVID alert. The recommendation from Tompkins County now is for everyone to mask and distance, whether vaccinated or not. And so given that we felt like it was at least the impetus for this resolution is to maximize safety at town meetings for anyone that's physically present. And we will be, and there is the option always to attend remotely as we're doing tonight. So
is there the masking and social distancing to me seem appropriate in protecting other people? What about vaccinations? It seems to me that more protects the person from getting seriously ill rather than being an increased risk of transmission. Also, that's one point. And the other is on masking. I think they should be approved masks, not just a bandana or something pulled up.
Agree with that, Cal.
As do I.
And we will supply the appropriate surgical masks at the door so that's not an issue. If people don't have them, we will provide them.
Yep.
Yep, totally agree.
I would respond to your point about transmission. My understanding is that they're still collecting data. Certainly vaccination keeps you from getting sick. I don't know what the probability is of transmission for vaccinated and unvaccinated. I think it's much lower for vaccinated individuals to be transmitting. But I don't know, I haven't found the information out there. So I don't know, maybe Catherine, John, or Jesse has information, but.
Yeah, I'm unclear on what the question is. I mean, is the question that like vaccination reduces risk of transmission? For sure. So I think that's what we're talking about. Right.
said-
There's an unvaccinated person who's been exposed, the chance that they have the virus in their nasal passages and then would spread it to people, whether they're vaccinated or not. Obviously, the chance is much higher if you are an unvaccinated person. And given that there's asymptomatic spread, that's why we're all doing this. I don't think we need to get into the details of this really,
Mhm.
given that we're not public health officials, but I mean, that, you know.
Right.
Yep.
I think it's fair to say that, you know, that the public health stuff is complicated, but it's clear to me that vaccination does enhance public safety, and by we're not excluding anyone from a meeting. We have alternate means. If they are unvaccinated, they can attend remotely if they wish. So
this resolution would just apply to public meetings here at the town hall for the town board. It would not apply to the court or people coming into the town hall to see you or to see the code officer.
this is intended for public meetings subject to open meetings law, in my
Yeah.
view.
Yep, that's what I'm trying to ask.
Okay, that's, is that what other people understood?
It's what I understood, but I think it raises an interesting question.
Mhm.
And,
Agree.
you know, so I would suggest we vote on this particular resolution, but I would not be opposed to discussing broader implications and possibly a second resolution, even if that were to be next week. I think it relates.
So, oh, go ahead.
I had a question.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this for myself necessarily, but say that, okay, I'm a town official and I am unvaccinated. Would I be required, I would also be required to attend only virtually? And if so, if I am somewhere where I don't have reliable internet, what would someone do?
Yeah, so to me, the answer to that is yes, you would be required to. You would be required to, under the provisions of whatever the state open meetings law would say, which is to advertise your location, and if you didn't have reliable internet, then you would have to make the effort to find reliable internet as an official. I think you'd have that responsibility.
Okay.
That would be my own take on it.
Are we going to offer an option of somebody that's not vaccinated provide results of a negative COVID test within the last 7 days?
No,
Catherine doesn't think so.
not for me. I mean, no. I thought you were going to say proof of antibodies, which maybe we could debate. Even that, I don't think, it doesn't make sense to get involved in that. But testing, I would say no. Hard no.
Yeah, because the antibodies, because some people don't produce them.
Right.
Well, I'm saying if you've recovered from COVID, right? So some of the requirement, again, we're getting a little bit far afield from like the resolution that's on the table, but
Yeah.
proof of vaccination or proof of antibodies is generally the only thing that's really held up to be like equivalent, which is different from a test, right? So if you have a test and
Yep, got it. Well, I mean, you're the one with medical training here.
So proof of antibodies are you saying proof of antibodies would suffice for proof of vaccination? No,
I'm not proposing that. I'm not proposing that. I don't think we need to
Yeah, how would,
complicate it.
how would somebody
No.
prove that?
Right. I mean, some people do have that proof,
Yeah.
but that's, I don't think.
okay, okay,
I think we should keep it cut and dry at vaccination.
okay. And then to Cal's first point about, do we want to modify this resolution to say what, proper masks or, some kind of, or is that a different resolution, or do we want to make a wording change here?
I would like to offer a friendly amendment to the resolution saying approved.
By,
I don't know. But
Town clerk.
I just see somebody with a gator pulled up over their nose, and I'm sorry, that doesn't cut it.
mhm,
If you're gonna
Mhm.
require masking. It should be, and we will provide masks free.
Mhm. Right. Yeah, if we provide the masks, then I'm going to use the phrase medical grade, which probably isn't totally accurate, but to a certain standard, and we provide them, then we take equity issues off the table for somebody. And I think that's fair.
I'm thinking about the mask I have on, so, I think it's bamboo or something, and I don't know where it came from.
I think that the result saying that it's, in addition to masking, it's not face covering, like it was before, it's masking, maybe that
Mhm.
makes it simpler to,
By using the word
I mean,
masking,
it's already in there.
Yeah.
It's- Mask.
I mean, even if you said surgical mask or, medical procedure mask, whatever.
FDA approved face coverings.
Or should it be CDC approved? I don't know. I just,
Yeah.
maybe, now I'm making it more complicated. I want to
Yeah,
keep it simple.
I am worried because, I'm pretty sure by those stricter, I'll get what I need to get if we want to,
Yeah, what I'm just thinking of is these things are the cloth ones like we've got, that seem to be kind of generally
okay.
generally approved. But some masks, from what I understand, are as good as nothing.
Mhm. So are you proposing a wording change, Cal, or leaving it as is?
Leave it as is.
Okay. Are others okay with that, leaving the resolution as is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm ready to vote if others.
okay, I think I am. I don't think we made any changes, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so if everyone's ready to vote, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of this resolution? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Great, thank you. The second resolution is basically a letter to the governor urging, I'll make a motion to introduce the resolution urging limited suspension of executive order of New York open meetings law. And I'm not going to read the whole thing. Could I get a second on that? Or if you'd
Yes.
like me to read it, would you like me to read it? That's what I should say.
I've read it,
I've
but
read it.
Okay. I'll summarize it in brief and anybody can correct me for people in attendance if I miss anything, but this is simply asking the state of New York, the governor, to reimpose an executive order given the trajectory of the COVID pandemic now and the recognized health risk to recognize that in regard to public meetings and the requirement for in-person attendance and the risks that that poses, to reimpose an executive order to modify open meetings law in a way that allows public officials to attend meetings remotely. That seemed to capture it.
yes.
And this resolution has been passed, it was begun by the Enfield Town Board. And a bunch of other towns. TCOG passed a resolution after this one last week. So we are all asking the governor to please recognize the current situation, and it's just as grave as it was in the spring, and that we need them to modify an open meetings law by executive order. There is the expectation that the assembly will take this up in January to permanently modify open meetings law, but that's a long ways from now. So any other, are we ready to vote on this?
What's,
I am.
what's the exit on?
Well, this says,
You know, if they took it to heart and suspended the open meetings law, then when would it be?
so here, this is the actionable clause.
Thank you.
Until such time as the COVID-19 pandemic has successfully been controlled. So that's what it is.
That's a little too vague for me.
But it won't, it'll be up to the governor as it was before. So it's not, we're saying things are bad now and they're getting worse, and you need to take action now because we're meeting every week, every month. And I'm sure the state, you know, when they feel that the restrictions can be eased, will do so. So I think I'm comfortable. I mean, this is trusting the state, which is, you know, they're the ones in control here. So we're just asking them to wake up and do something now on the front end, and then act accordingly later. But
We're not trusting them on the front end, but we're trusting them on the back end.
but how, you know, I can understand your point, but I can't imagine us articulating an exit, and, you know, saying, we want you to, you know, terminate this blah, you know.
Rates of transmission statewide or something. I know the rates of transmission have really bulleted up in Tompkins County. I don't know how they are statewide, and is it just more local? I don't know.
Catherine?
I guess I think that people will return when they are comfortable, given their own individual situations, and this is what would allow for that. I don't know that we need to dictate when people come back necessarily. I mean, I don't anticipate us just deciding we're never going to return to in-person meetings.
Your level of comfort may be different than mine, is different than.
I mean, like I said, we do expect, there are companion bills in the Senate and the Assembly that to address the antiquated nature of open meetings law, you know, requiring anyone, you
Like
know.
you having to publish their address.
Yeah, well, publishing the address is okay, but like inviting them for popcorn and you know, to come to your house is not
Yeah,
okay.
right, I know.
So, so I think that will be addressed. So that's probably going to be the answer, you know, could be, or it could be we add a clause that say, or until such time as there is legislative remedy.
I like that. Myself.
Okay.
So I don't know if I'd have to propose that as a friendly amendment to it or addition or.
You can, I scribbled it down if you'd like to.
Yeah, read it back, Mark.
So I just added after been controlled or until such time as there is legislative remedy.
Do you need a second on your amendment? Or are you just gonna add it?
So I think Cal's putting that forward,
Okay.
Correct.
and I need a second. Yes,
Yeah, I would second that.
seconded by Catherine. And further discussion? Great, okay. So with no further ado, I'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye or raise your hand. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Great, thank you. All right. So I will now offer a motion to move into executive session to discuss employment policies of the town.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Cal. And I will call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Great, thank you.
Stop recording.